Hello, my beautiful ignited souls. I am Crime Queen and I'm ready to dig in deep in spirituality and spiritual references and numerology. Are you ready to dig deep? Are we ready to dig deep? If so, come along with me, stick around, let's dig deep and let's have a delicious intake of spiritual growth. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm continuing on these exercises where we have used black and white as the contrasts of polarities that really enable us to understand how we got to where we have been, where we are rather, how we were operating. And, this is why we have to look back. Hey, look back. And now I think it's necessary for us to look at white and black in that sense. Basically, it's like all the colors, of course, derive from black. And then we have white. White is as though it will our board now, or whiteboard like I have now. And let's look at what is on the whiteboard right now and to see what we need to erase and what we need to add on. This adding on means that we have to tap go back into black and see what we need, what colors, what textures we need to really help ourselves. Excuse me 1 minute. Yeah. So basically, we have looked at those letters, those words, and how they impact on us. Now, there was something else that I felt. Of course, I have looked at the letters here, and this is another point in, let's erase these words. So both colors, or the three colors, have a numerical value of 11, and we have seen how 11 comes in the middle column of numbers 1 to 2. We have seen that matches with 5 and 6, adding 5 and 6 together. This is like the 56 men who wrote or signed the Declaration for the American independence. So this is just to give you an example of the significance. 11 is also the first master number. It is also it also represents Jesus. 11 is also the number that has, of course, Eve in the middle of it. 11, like, or likewise 7. But 11, if we did the numerical value for the word 11, it gives us 9. So we are operating in our universe on numbers 1 to 9. So you can see how 9/11 really worked out. I have done stuff on 9/11 that way. Okay, so here we have I'm going to write this in block letters because I feel it's going to give us, it's like setting that template. The template, so we have black, BLACK, and then we have white, ITE. Now we had numbers of words here. We could see how easily that white could have manipulated black, and I'm speaking on functions here. And we could see how the interplay of human dynamics really play out. And this is why I'm using this as well to help empower ourselves to see how we can now get out of the beehive, so to speak, and become more independent. Now, number 2 as well, as I have drawn on number 2 on the template. So this is the sacrifice template, and in case you're new to this is the sacrifice template. If you really want to know, explore more on this, you can go on template to sacrifice. I've got a playlist on template to sacrifice. You could put by Crime Queen, and things will come up. Or you could have my introductory video, which is an introduction to Crime Queen, something about that. And this will give you a full length explanation of how this came about, and you will see how all these intuitive messages really came through. That there were times that I did this really recorded this. I didn't plan how this was going to show up, but it has showed up. So basically, we have looked at number two, and we have seen how significant it is, yet still it has a sort of weakness as well, because it is so humble. It is so humble does not mean it's weak in that sense, but one can see it as weakness. But it has been manipulated in ways that has not served those who have not been conscious to its attributes. So basically, this is the the template. This is a depiction of Mother Eve at the moment. And so I'm calling on the spirit of Mother Eve to be present with us through this presentation. So to reveal to us or inspire us to the appropriate messages that are necessary for us. And this is including the 14 gods that we have discovered in the scriptures of Genesis of chapter 1 and 2. And there is so much that we are still working on how these gods are coming up back and forth with the template and the gods. So we have 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. So there is a sort of balance with in black, and it's like it's very much balanced. We could see that. So it would make you want to think, well, why is it that we have this sense of lack? As I say, I feel it is a psychological thing that we have gone through thinking or feeling lack because we may not have been conscious about the interplay of using the word as much in the context that we are using it and the emotions that accompanies that usage of the word black, and also the disposition that we hold, our perception about it. So there are different aspects that really gets one thing feeling more lack in that sense than, or that they are at the back of things. There is also back, feeling that we are behind, it's the back. There is a lot, but I want to show that there is a flip side in this, that here we have I. I is also the third eye, could be the third eye, it could be your eye, and this is where the story of Eve comes in as well. So we have I as EYE, EYE, which is 575, and that gives us 14. So we can see that 14 is the number that is being very instrumental in this stage of 2020 in particular. It perhaps have been like this for the uh from 2014, or could be even before then, but it is at its peak. I believe that 14, the number 14, is at its reigning at its peak in this 2020 year. And this is why we have Pope Francis, or since Pope Francis was ordained as well, because Pope is 7 and Francis is 7. This is to show that there is an intelligence so high that is orchestrating things around us, and if we are not conscious of it, it's going to play out in our lives in unfavorable ways in certain to us, because we will not understand what is happening, and so we will feel threatened. We will feel that we are left behind. We are on the back burner, so to speak. So we have Pope Francis, who was the 266 Pope. Adding this together comes to 14. Of course, 1 plus 4 is 5. And in the sense of his name as well, Pope Francis would be 5. 5 is also coinciding. This is, wow, I hadn't even worked it out yet, with the Hierophant, which is high, and which the Hierophant actually is the high priest. in the tarot deck. So the high priest now is teaching. He is the highest in the pack. I think he's the highest. He's the high priest. So in essence, on the spiritual realm, we're not talking about the emperor now as well. So the so 266, he was 266, meaning this also reminds me of 66 books in the Bible as well, and two sixes of creation as well, because two creations, that means there would be two sets of person, people, or Genesis, if we like to, because that's what we are. 33, 3 plus 3 is 6. So this is so huge. When I think about it, it is like almost mind blowing, because if we say that he's 266, the Pope, that is, he comes into this, adding this together equals 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. What intelligence have really brought this about in this year? Now we are in 2020. When we write 2020, this equals 8 plus 8. Adding 8 and 8 together gives us 16. 1 plus 6 is 7, which takes us back to 20. The word 7 takes us back to 20. But it's not only reflected in that way. The word 7, the word 7, 8 and 8, 16 comes to 1 plus 6 comes to 7. When we add 7 like this, which means Mother Eve is making herself present in this. As we can see, things are turning upside down. That's what it's about. Mother Eve, now the serpent has stripped, it's like being stripped of its skin. And that is so symbolic with what is happening in our lives. Now, some of us are like screaming our heads off. We don't know what is happening. We just occupy ourselves with all kinds of questions with what is happening instead of also trying to make sense of what is happening in here, inward, and to strip ourselves in accordance with Mother Eve, because that's the message. Strip your clothes. She's saying, in fact, I saw a young man on a clip that was sent. He just stripped himself naked walking the streets. Perhaps there was a higher intelligence that was working in him that understood this better than all of us. And I wonder, what if the whole world did that anyway? Who would be locking up who? Well, okay. So this is Mother Eve in the middle of 7. I'm talking about the 6, of course. So we're talking about two sevens as well. So 1 plus 5 is 6 on the end. So Mother Eve is like making her presence known or acknowledged in 7 of the creation. Now, what I really want to dwell on here as well, okay, I have talked about number 14 with Pope Francis, and the date as well of 14th May 2020 is adding up to 14. So his position when he came is 14, the title is 14, and also 14 as the date of May, and that's 14. We also have 14s arriving as well, coinciding with the four main things that are happening in our society today. So this coronavirus, the Pope signing this declaration, the AI intelligence, and what's the other one? There are four things. The Pope signing this thing, the AI intelligence, the coronavirus, and the okay, there's four. Anyway, I've mentioned them in other, I think I should make a note of them really. And so I don't keep repeating the same thing. Right. So, yeah, I probably will be able to recap on here. So basically, these things that we see how 14 is showing up for us, which comes up to number 5. We see that looking at back and all these words for those who are feeling lack, for those who are feeling lack, we just need to really get this three here working for us. This is the first letter. This is the first letter Mother Eve uttered when she said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So in actual fact, we have L and we have ET here. It would be, we are creative beings, finding ways to actually connect on this um, TEL here. So LET, and I've also seen that Mother Eve is like the teller. On 15 minutes, time do fly when you're having fun. Okay. But what I really want to show here is to concentrate on not only this is very instrumental, is that we have in black, or well, it's not in white, and we will show the strength of I as well. I was doing the strength of I, so we saw that there's also I as the I, the single I. So we see that the single I equals 9. It has a numerical value of 9 before we go into this. And if we add this together we'll have 13, which is 3, and this gives us 23. So we can see the power of 23 right here. So when we have I in the middle here, the letter I in itself in the middle has such strength that can connect right there on 23. It also has a mirror aspect to it as 32. We can see, like where Emmett Fox says, nothing comes into your consciousness unless it finds something like itself within you on which to attach itself to. And this is what is happening here. It's almost as if you could have a triangle right here with I. So there would be, this would form a triangle right here. And that's a wisdom that we really need to work on, how to operate in this realm. When we say I, because now everyone can use this, whether you're white, black, yellow, or whatever it is, we all use this I. We all have this I. How are we going to function? How are we using this I? Whenever someone says I, they are reflecting, because this is how we all refer ourselves to right here. So this is very important that we learn how to connect on this. Obviously, those in the know how to hinge upon this here. Now, even as well on the ends of this white, we have 5. We have 5 here. You can see 5 has a sort of relationship or similarity with 2, and it's as if they can connect, they can understand each other. But it has, and they're almost as opposite, because down is a strong line for number 2. So 2, and there we have for 5 has this strong line as well. So there is a relationship here. So they both have masculine and feminine attributes here. Both have that. It's just that number 5 has another, it's key. It's like, because the number 5, as we've seen, it stems in the middle of the sacrifice template, which also has the value of word key, lock, home. I had a list of words. Chamber, anchor. So many strong, we could say, active words that 5 bears. It bears kundalini, it bears kundalini, it bears pyramid. So many. I won't really go into it now. It's also, of course, the God who made, and the God who ended, and the God who moved. So we can see that in the white, they're able to make the God who made, the God who made, and the God who ended. That gives a lot of strength and a lot of character, lot of um, dynamic attributes to this white hair, having 5 on either sides. The other thing is we have seen that the W can be an E, it can be an E, this it can be a 3, it can be a W, E, 3 or M. So let's just do it in a different style here. So, okay. So, and it forms an 8 petal flower. There is no flower looking like this, but who knows, after 2020, you might get a flower looking exactly like that, designed by Crimey Queen. Okay, and so we have H hair as well. It's like a ladder. I see this as a ladder. So you could see to hit someone, you need to rise above them anyway. And so there's all of those elements here. But going back to balancing things, we see that the A, when we looked at the course of life, oh, let's do this. When we look at the course of life, COURSE, which has a curse, often the cure is there before, and then they give you a curse because you are born with the cure, you're born with the curse, meaning that people can manipulate you because you already have the cure. You are the cause. You are the cause. And you are trying to figure out yourself. So basically you have the cure already. But the curse is highlighted. The curse is often highlighted, as we can see. We forget we have the cure. And then we are, of course, our job is to find the cure. But it means we need to go to the core. All these are part 3 stages, the 3 stages to life course right here. The curse, the cure, and the core. So in the core, we know as every core, both of these here are 5 letters, which denotes, you could say, Adam right here in the sense of the numerical value, because it's 5 letters. 5 plus 5 is 10. And when we do the numerical value for Adam, ADAM, which is 1414, and we could see where 14 is as well. And it's there, no matter whether you saw it as Eve or in Adam, it's there. So hence all these 14s have been coming up as well. And it also has showed up in the AI too, that they have showed, I think it was the 14th, but the number 5 has come up. Okay, so we're going to the core. And so the core, we see pyramid. The A is like a pyramid, or it is a pyramid. Oh, I have left my pens drying. And this has 3 strokes, just like, well, it's not just like, but it's got 3 strokes. And it's another sort of ladder, you could say. So our job is like to discover the pyramid within us, within our life course. And the life course, of course, we need to go to the core. The core we know is the middle. There are 2 main organs or functions within us that could really give us answers to corresponding with the letters and so on. So it's the heart, HEART, and the brain, BRAIN. Hope you can see that. Yes. So I want to say, to highlight, I think this is self-explanatory, that every human being has got a heart and a brain. And to understand these, we can go to the core of our being right there, the core of who we are. And this A has 3 strokes. Now I've actually counted the strokes that um, that really make up these. I've done videos on this and I don't really want to go into it right now. I may do it at another time. So, but this has three strokes, the A. So A is actually representing three. The three that is very dynamic and flighty and wants to go and do its thing. The three that, which is the first letter that Mother Eve uttered when she says, "Let there be light," and it's L. And we know L is also seen as a god, and that is also in the scripture, EL, but this is L here. So we can see how this L, we would say, is the symbol or the essence of all L's. And because this L has two, it has one motion. This is where we see ourselves in L. It has one motion. It has two strokes, two lines, and it has 3 points, 1, 2, 3. So can we see how adding these together gives us 6? How we can tap into L to create man in our own image and likeness. When we understand this, we understand everything. This is why it is on the 3rd verse of the 1st chapter where Mother Eve says, and it says, "And God said," the God said is this God of saying and the God of wisdom. When it is said, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God," was God. Was is also saying that something had passed, but in the word was is AS. So it's saying it is still present. We are just on a continuum. We are just on cycles of evolution. So and says, "And God was." In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So there are 3 sections, 3 things happening, 3 was in this, which tells me 3 sevens are 21 because it equals 21, the word was. But that is also the saw God, who is in a reverse way, because that is the saw. If we were to look at a symbol for the word saw, we would see something like this. So the saw is actually a wave. And that's what we are. We are in a wave of evolution. We are in a new wave of evolution. So the saw God was there in the word. And words are like waves because they flow, they have current. And so that's what is happening here in our state. So Mother Eve said, "Let there be light." And this spell of words, our utterance came to it concluded, 28 minutes. It added to 12. So the numerical value of 12, and 1 plus 12, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 is 3. So it's a cycle that comes back here. It repeats, it's the cycle here. So when Mother Eve says, "Let there be light," there was like in that 12 is the 12 zodiac signs, is the 12 hours of the day, is the 12 whatever 12 tribes of Israel. It's all 12 playing right there. And everything was already birthed, or the seed of it was right there, because and then it says, "And there was light," meaning everything, and there was light also equals 12. So everything mirrored itself. So we can see that this wave that came about when Mother Eve says, "Let there be light," meaning there was the 14 gods working harmoniously, or there was that already, or happened, if you like, just as what is happening now. We are there, and there's a new wave of people happening, meaning there's a new wave of AI intelligence, and another wave of human beings is going to happen. So there's like there's going to be like a contrast of two sets of creation. That's exactly what happened in Genesis of chapter 1 and 2. Two sets of creation, people, two sets of creation. So let's open our eyes to what's happening here. Let's get into the core. There is so much more into this. In fact, I will come back to this in another video. So look out for another video onto this while we dig deeper into the essence of who we truly are through numerology and scriptural references. If you have a Bible now, it's time to dust it off if you haven't read it for a while and just go in, because I think now is the 2020 vision. You'll be able to see everything as daylight. Okay, stay ignited.